Lesson 49, Volume of Cubes and Rectangular Prisms. Here are the directions. Students will follow along with their instructor to complete this lesson. Find the area or volume. Include the units. Let's compare box A and box B. In box A, we have a two-dimensional figure, so write down 2D for 2 dimensions. In box B, we have a 3-dimensional figure, so write down 3D for 3 dimensions. Let's work on box A. It says, list the 2 dimensions. Here, we're working with length and width, so write it down. The name of this base shape is a square, so write it down. Now let's find the area of the square, and we're going to use 2 different methods. Here's method number 1. Write down the formula, area equals length times width. On the next line, the length is 2 inches, and the width is 2 inches. Let's simplify. 2 times 2 equals 4. Inches times inches equals inches squared. So the area of the square is 4 inches squared, or 4 square inches. Write it down here. Here's method number 2. A simpler formula for the area of a square is area equals s squared. Let's go to the next line. Since each side is 2 inches, instead of writing s squared, write down 2 inches squared. Let's simplify. 2 squared equals 4. Inches squared equals inches squared. So our final answer is an area of 4 inches squared, or 4 square inches. And notice how that matches our previous answer. Now for box B. Notice that this square in box A is the same as this square in box B. Draw an arrow to show the connection. And now, instead of working with only length and width, we'll be working with length, width, and depth. Write it down. And the name of this solid figure is a cube. Write it down. Now let's find the volume of the cube, which tells you how much space it takes up. We'll use 2 different methods. Here's the first method. Write down the formula, volume equals length times width times depth. On the next line, the length is 2 inches. The width is 2 inches. And the depth is 2 inches. Let's simplify. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Inches times inches times inches equals inches to the 3rd power, or inches cubed. So our volume is 8 inches cubed, or 8 cubic inches. Let's take a closer look to see what that means. Here we have a large cube that measures 2 inches long by 2 inches wide by 2 inches deep. And each one of these little cubes is called a cubic inch. It's called a cubic inch because it's a cube and it measures 1 inch long by 1 inch wide by 1 inch deep. So let's find out how many cubic inches we have here. Here we have 1 cubic inch, 2 cubic inches, 3 cubic inches, 4 cubic inches, 5 cubic inches, 6 cubic inches, 7 cubic inches, and 8 cubic inches. So the volume is 8 cubic inches. Let's look at box B again. Here is a large cube that measured 2 inches long by 2 inches wide by 2 inches deep, and the volume was 8 cubic inches. Let's write that down here. Now let's find the volume using method 2. A simpler formula for the volume of a cube is volume equals S cubed. On the next line, since each side is 2 inches, instead of writing S cubed, write down 2 inches cubed. Let's simplify. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Inches cubed equals inches cubed. So our final answer is a volume of 8 inches cubed, or 8 cubic inches. And notice how that matches our previous answer. Let's look at box C. It says list the 2 dimensions. So here we'll be working with length and width. Write it down. And the name of this base shape is a rectangle. Write it down. Now let's find the area. The area of a rectangle equals the length times the width. On the next line, the length is 2 inches and the width is 3 inches. Let's simplify. 2 times 3 equals 6. Inches times inches equals inches squared. Final answer is an area of 6 inches squared, or 6 square inches. Let's write it down here. Now for box D. Notice that this rectangle in box C is the same as this rectangle in box D. Draw an arrow to show the connection. And now, instead of working only with length and width, we'll be working with length, width, and depth. Write it down. And the name of this solid figure is a rectangular prism. Now let's find the volume. The volume of a rectangular prism is the length times the width times the depth. Write it down. On the next line, the length is 2 inches. The width is 3 inches. And the depth is 2 inches. Let's simplify. 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12. Inches times inches times inches is inches to the 3rd power, or inches cubed. So our final answer is a volume of 12 inches cubed, or 12 cubic inches.